Welcome to BOJTV Trending News for top stories in local, regional and international news, along with sports and local weather forecast. I'm Carla. Coming up in our local trending news, Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced a state of public emergency in the St. Andrew South. Cousins killed in double fatal accident in Lilliput, St. James. Another Jamaica Defence Force soldier murdered in the parish of Clarendon. And JLP set to launch a scholarship fund today. Now the news in detail. Prime Minister Andrew Holness yesterday announced that a state of public emergency has been declared in the St. Andrew South policing area. Prime Minister Holness said he advised the Governor-General on the recommendation given to him by the head of his security forces. He also stated that the main cause of death in the parish of St. Andrew stems from gang violence. Since the start of the year to June 29, a total of 94 persons have been murdered in the parish, compared to 79 deaths at the same period last year. For the second time within a month, another Jamaica Defence Force soldier has been shot and killed within the parish of Clarendon. The latest JDF soldier to be killed in the parish has been identified as 47-year-old Private Paul Lindsay of a toll gate in Clarendon. Reports are that in the early hours of a Sunday morning, Lindsay was at his birthday party, which was kept at the premises and toll gate, when he was approached by a lone gunman brandishing a handgun, who shot him at least 8 times. The gunman made off with his licensed firearm and amount of cash. Lindsay is the second JDF officer to be murdered in the parish in the past 3 weeks. During the last week of June, another JDF soldier, Private Alan Oswald, was gunned down while at a garage in his community of Maritime. 2 persons were killed and 7 other persons injured in 2 separate motor vehicle accidents which occurred along a section of the Lilliput and Rose Hall main roads in St. James on Saturday night and Sunday morning. Dead are 17 years old Ronaldo Blake, who is called Prezi, a student of Spotter Valley High School, and his older cousin, 24 years old Damon Blake, a sound system selector known as Cha-Cha. Reports are that about 10:30 p.m. the cousins were traveling on a motorcycle from the direction of their home at Bobman Hill in Lilliput towards the Lilliput main road. On reaching the main road, they rode in the path of a Toyota Hiace minibus, which was traveling from the direction of Falmouth towards Montego Bay. Both vehicles collided, and the cousins and the driver of the bus sustained injuries and were rushed to Falmouth Hospital, where they were pronounced dead, and he was admitted in serious condition. In the meantime, Councillor for the Rose Hall Division, Anthony Murray, say he is now concerned over the amount of fatal accidents taking place along that corridor, and he's calling on the Transport Ministry and the National Works Agency to erect signs along that stretch. Since the start of the year, a total of 22 persons have lost their lives in 20 fatal accidents in St. James. The Jamaica Labour Party of the JLP will today launch the Scholarship Fund, announced by Prime Minister and party leader Andrew Holness at the party's annual conference in November 2018. According to a JLP advisory, a total of 5 scholarships, an additional 126 bursaries will be provided to the selected individuals. The selection mechanism is to be outlined at the event. The JLP said senior members of the party leadership will also use the opportunity to outline plans to commemorate the party's 76th anniversary. Mr. Holness is set to address the ceremony. The Caribbean Maritime University CMU has announced that its president, Professor Fritz Pinnock, has opted to take a leave of absence in light of the ongoing investigation of the former Minister of Education, Youth and Information, the Ministry and the University. Dr. Pinnock stated in a letter to the University Council Chairman that in the interest of all, I have selected to go on 6 weeks of voluntary leave, effective July 5, 2019. This will allow the various investigations in progress time to conclude their findings and recommendations. Professor Pinnock believes that while the investigations are important, the related issues should not overshadow the integrity of the CMU, the work of its management and staff, and most importantly, the reputation of the university and the student it serves. As a result of greater transparency and for the university to continue in pursuing its vision to be the maritime university of choice for global leaders, he believes that this is the right thing to do at this time. He added that the CMU is a great asset and would be selfish of me to continue allowing folks to destroy what so many have worked to build. A CMU as a brand is secure and will continue growing. A CMU is the first specialized university in Jamaica with a mission to redefine maritime excellence through innovation and technology. Those were your top stories making local trending news. Now join us for news from across the region as well as our international story, sports and local weather forecast. From across the region. Accident investigators in the Bahamas say they have recovered the helicopter that crashed after taking off from a remote private island on July 4, killing coal billionaire Chris Klein and 6 other Americans, as well as a British citizen. The Bahamas Air Accident Investigation Department said on its website that a Florida-based contractor pulled the Augusta AW-139 helicopter from the ocean late Saturday night. The helicopter was expected to be taken to Fort Lauderdale and then an accident investigation facility in Fort Pierce, Florida. Authorities have said it is too early to draw conclusions about the cause of the crash. They do not believe a distress call was made, and they only began searching after police received a report from Florida that the craft had failed to arrive in Fort Lauderdale as expected. Those killed included Klein's 22-year-old daughter Cameron and 3 of her close friends, Brittany Lane Searson, Gillian Clark, and Delaney Wickle. Searson, Clark, and Cameron Klein were recent graduates of Louisiana State University. Wickle had recently graduated from West Virginia University. In international news, a hedge fund billionaire has been arrested on sex trafficking charges in the New York area after having long been followed by accusations of molesting young girls, U.S. media reported. Jeffrey Epstein, who is expected to appear before a federal magistrate today, was arrested Saturday at a New Jersey airport after arriving from Paris in his private jet, CBS Miami reported. A source familiar with the case told the television station Epstein was charged with 1 count of sex trafficking and 1 count of conspiracy to commit sex trafficking. Epstein had long been the subject of accusations of paying young girls for sexual massages at his Palm Beach, Florida mansion. A police investigation found that he had engaged in sex with underage girls, some as young as 13, according to reporting by the Miami Herald. But Epstein avoided federal prosecution in those cases with a 2007 plea deal negotiated by R. Alexander Acosta, and now the U.S. Labor Secretary and at the top of the federal prosecutor in Miami. Under the deal, he pleaded guilty to a state charge of soliciting prostitution from a minor and was sentenced to 18 months in the county jail. Over in our sporting report, the Windies are scheduled to face off against Afghanistan in a full series set for India in November. With the country granted test status in 2017, one of the matches will include a test, which is expected to begin on November 27. The series will also include 3 one-day internationals and 3 T20s. The venue for the matches is, however, yet to be decided. Afghanistan and the West Indies have played only 10 internationals between them. 8 of those were held in the Caribbean. The West Indies lead Afghanistan 5-4 in the head-to-head, their most recent victory coming in the ICC World Cup 2019. On your local weather forecast, insignificant feature trough across Jamaica. The trough will linger across the island until early Wednesday morning. Thereafter, a high-pressure ridge is expected to rebuild across Jamaica. The forecast for this morning will see mainly sunny skies and hazy conditions. During this afternoon, widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms across sections of central and western parishes and isolated showers across hilly inland areas of eastern parishes. Tonight, partly cloudy. Maximum temperature expected for Kingston as well as Montego Bay today is 35 degrees Celsius. That was BOJTV's trending news, your top local, regional and international stories, as well as a sport report and a weather forecast. Until next time, I'm Carla. Thanks for watching.
Audio Jungle.